YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders can really beat anybody in the NFC. And I'm talking for the remaining part of their schedule and if we in fact make the playoffs. So we're going to take a look at every other NFC team that's also in the playoff picture and look at the possible chances of what the Washington Commanders have to do to not only get in, but they can actually beat them. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to first start by saying this. No, I'm not saying the Washington Commanders will beat any of these teams that I mentioned. I'm just saying that we can beat anybody that's in our way. Okay, that's how I personally feel about this team. If you were there this morning for the Top of the Morning Show episode 11, you would have already participated and saw this exercise. But if you weren't, you're going to see it now. So the Washington Commanders obviously sit at 7-5, man. The job is not finished. I mean, we turned this season around from a 1-4 start, obviously, but we still have a lot of work to be done, okay? And if we want to make the playoffs and make something out of this season, okay? And as we know how this NFC conference has gone, every team that's currently sitting in the playoff picture or sitting in the hunt, they can very well be taken out by anybody. I mean, we took out the Eagles, who are arguably one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team in the NFL. Okay, they have the best record, obviously, and we took them out. Okay, we could have almost took out the Vikings. Okay, so any team that's in this playoff picture is able to be beat, and we know that. So, with that being said, I wanted to come on here to take a look at these other people's and teams, schedule and tell you about how I feel about our chances if we were to, possibly link up with them in the playoffs. So, first team that I want to take a look at is the New York Giants, because we're currently the 7th seed. We play them this weekend, and they're pretty much derailing in my opinion. So let me go ahead and share my screen for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. So as you can see right here, you got the playoff picture up, and you got the New York Giants sitting here at the 6th seed, right? And at the 6th seed, they sit pretty solidly. However, I don't think that's going to last. The New York Giants have, I want to say, out of their remaining 6 games, 4 of them are, or maybe even 5 of them are against division opponents, okay? So let's take a look at the New York Giants' upcoming schedule. As you can clearly see, we play them this Sunday. That's a very winnable game for our Washington Commanders, okay? And with their status, with how they're derailing due to injuries and just a lack of talent, finally, catching up to them, and a Cinderella start is probably coming to an end. I really can see the Giants finishing out 7-10, 8-9. So next game they got is obviously against us, and I'm not saying we're going to win that game, but we have a good chance, okay? And that's 7 and 5 for the Giants. That's 8-5 for us if that was to happen, right? They play the Eagles at home. I think the Eagles will beat them. Okay, and then they play us again, and that's also going to be another winnable game for the Washington Commanders. Then they play the Vikings, who I think the Vikings are going to beat them, and then they play the Colts, who I think they'll beat, but then they play the Eagles to end the season, and they're probably going to lose that game, in my opinion. I have them losing that. So I have the Giants really finishing out 8-9, and quite frankly, that's good for Giants fans. They should be happy because it's year 1 of your rebuild. Okay, so finishing 8-9 isn't bad for them. Then you got the 5th seed, the Dallas Cowboys, who are currently 8-3. And some people may even say this team is probably the best team in the NFC. And you can honestly make that case, okay, because the Dallas Cowboys have been playing really well, and they have a pretty easy schedule remaining if you want to take a look at it. we can go ahead and pull up their schedule too. The Cowboys have a pretty favorable schedule. And I honestly think, all jokes aside and all unbiasedness aside, although they currently sit at the 5th seed, they definitely have a chance. And yes, a lot of things are going to have to go their way, but they definitely have a chance at possibly getting that 1 seed. Yes, I'm talking about the Cowboys possibly jumping up from the 5th seed to the 1 seed. Yes, I am. I currently am talking about that because I really think that could be a possibility. Because let's take a look at their schedule also. Okay, we're going to take a look at all these teams' schedules pretty much, but let's take a look at the Cowboys schedule. Okay, they got a pretty easy game against the Colts on Sunday Night Football. The Colts, if they can't run the ball, they're not going to be good. Then they got the Texans, who they should obviously beat. Then they got the Jaguars, who's going to be the only sneaky game I really think within these 3 games coming up. This is the game that I'm not too sure about. Okay, I think the Jaguars could actually beat the Cowboys, and this is like a game that the Cowboys probably would lose. If it was in Dallas, the Cowboys would have a better chance. But since it's in Jacksonville, I think Jaguars could take that. But I got them beating the Colts, so that's 9-3. Then I got them beating the Texans 10-3, and then I have them losing to the Jags. Okay, so 10-4, and then I think they'll beat the Cowboys. They'll beat the Eagles because the Eagles the Cowboys now got Dak Prescott this time. So that's probably 11-3 or 12-3 rather, 12-4 actually. And then I got them, beating the Titans, because if the Titans can't run the ball, then they're not going to be able to be successful. Okay. And then I got the final game versus the Washington Commanders is going to be a deciding factor game. I don't know who's going to win that game. Obviously, I want to say us, but I'm not going to make a decision yet. It's in January. So I really had the Cowboys probably finishing out. That's 9-3, 10-3, 10-4, 11-4, and then 12-4. So I could definitely see the Cowboys finishing 12-4 on the season. Now I don't know if that's going to be enough to possibly knock down the Eagles, but I definitely could see them and finishing 12-4, and getting that 1 seed is definitely not far-fetched for the Cowboys. And then you got the 4 seed, the Buccaneers. Okay, I don't care how bad the Buccaneers are, and how bad the NFC South is. I'm scared of the Buccaneers. Okay, Tom Brady just wants in. I think they're going to win that division pretty much easily, and I think they're obviously the better team in the NFC South, or the best team in the NFC South. And again, like I said, I don't care how bad of a season they've had. If Tom Brady gets in the playoffs, I do not want to play this guy. Okay, I do not want to play this guy, especially the first round. That's why a lot of Washington fans were like, "Shoo, we can get the 5th seed." Okay, that's not out of the realm of possibility. You're definitely right, but I don't want it to be a 5 versus 4 seed, because the only way the Bucs really get in is if they win the division. They're going to be the 4 seed. They're 5-6 right now. Okay, so I don't want to see them in the first round. But you look at their schedule coming up. They got the Saints. I think they're going to beat the Saints. The Saints aren't that good. They're not good at all, really. I said I picked them to beat the 49ers, and then I picked them to lose to the Bengals, and then I had them beating the Cardinals, and then I think they're going to beat the Bucs, or beat the Panthers, and then I got them beating the Falcons. So I definitely see them probably finishing 10-7 or something like that, and that's all Brady wants to ask for. Just get me in the playoffs and a chance to win. But again, that's another team that the Washington Commanders could possibly beat. Okay. And then you go to the 3 seed, the 49ers. This is probably the most toughest team in the conference to me, okay, because they have the best defense in the NFL, arguably, right? And we see them later on, so we can get a taste of what the 49ers are going to be. But I think they're the most dangerous team in the NFC, really, and that's the team that scares me the most. Okay, but even still, I think the Washington Commanders could beat them. They got the Dolphins this Sunday. That's going to be a tough game. But I think they probably beat the Dolphins. Okay, I think they beat the Seahawks. They lose to the Bucks, and then they beat the Seahawks, and then I haven't came up with a decision for our game, but obviously I'm pulling for my Commanders, and then I think they beat the Raiders and then beat the Cardinals. So I think they roughly finished the season probably around maybe 12-5-ish or 11-6-ish around there, and win the NFC West. They're a tough team if they getting into the playoffs. And then obviously the Vikings, they're going to win the NFC North. They got a tough game versus the Jets, and the Vikings is probably the least scared team that I'm worried about if we were to match up or see them in the playoffs again. You know, I want to see them again. I want to see the Vikings again because they're not good, bro. I really don't think they're good. Okay, obviously that you gotta win your game, so I'm not taking credit away from them. But if you look at all their games, bro, it's pretty much one decided. Okay, and they lost. The Cowboys got blown out, only holding 3 points. Okay, so the Jets game. Okay, I think the Vikings are going to win this game only simply because I don't know what I'm going to get from Mike White. Mike White had an amazing game last week, but I don't know if that's just one game or if he's going to be able to build off that. So this is going to be an important game to watch, okay? But I got the Vikings winning that game. I got them I think I said I had them I want to say losing to the Lions this time because earlier in the season the Lions had them on the ropes and then they let them get away. So I think the Lions are going to beat them because the Lions are playing good football, okay? It may not be translating all the time to wins, but I think they're playing good football, okay? So 10-3 or actually 10-3 on the season because they're currently 9-2. And then I got them beating the Colts 11-2. I got them beating the Giants, that's 12-2. I got them beating the Packers 13-2, and then I got them beat the Bears 14-2. Okay, but don't let that record fool you. Okay, or 14-3 rather. Don't let that record fool you. Okay, just because I have picking them to be so good and finish so well, don't necessarily mean they can't be a first round exit. Okay, I don't see them overlapping the Eagles, who the Eagles pretty much could take care of business the rest of the way. I think I had the Eagles finishing at 15-2. I don't see them overlapping the Eagles, and I think a date with the Washington Commanders in Minnesota is probably the most realistic option when it comes to playoff standing. So I'm coming on here pretty much as a Washington Commanders fan to give you a look around the NFC and pretty much tell you that I'm not scared of nobody we have to face if we have to in fact face these guys in the playoffs. Okay, we pretty much seen everybody. Okay, the only team that we didn't see this year that pretty much is in the mix of a playoff run is the Bucs and the Seahawks. But we're watching them from afar. We know we can take them. But everybody else that stands in the way ahead of us, I think we can take them. We know we can get them. We're going to get a taste of the 49ers later on in the year, in a couple weeks here from now. And that is the team that scares me the most when it comes to this thing, okay? So, with that being said, the Washington Commanders, they sit good, okay? We got to continue to just focus on us and win. We can't get comfortable. We control everything we want to control. We just got to go out there and win. So, yeah, man, there you have it. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section. I think the Washington Commanders can beat any team in the NFC. What do you think about it? Let me know what you guys think about this breakdown. As always, it's me, boy, Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Help to Washington Commanders. I'm out. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you popped. Get you popped, get you dropped.